Hello everyone, this is Angela and welcome to my channel. Please be sure to subscribe, like the video, and click the notifications bell so that you will know whenever I upload any new content. This video is part 2 of the oracle readings that I performed regarding Roe v Wade. Please be sure to watch it so that you can gain valuable insight on this very important topic. Let's get right into it. I will start by covering the third and fourth questions that I asked about. I consulted the Medu Neter Oracle regarding the third question, which is how women should react to the overturning of Roe versus Wade from a spiritual perspective. The first response that I received, the first card, is the Dark Deceased card. And what this energy is symbolic of is a disturbed ancestor, someone who is no longer resting in peace. Okay. So immediately I started thinking about the children who were buried alive for being born as girls, the babies, boys and girls alike, who were aborted because the father threatened to take the mother's life or, cause her harm if she did not follow through with the procedure. These are the women who chose to give birth to their children only for the child's father to take their lives, and oftentimes the baby's lives right along with them. And the center is not this is not centered around pregnant women and their babies. Other people feel the ricochet of this too, the ricochet effect of this too. These are their parents, the mothers and fathers of the deleted pregnant women who also themselves passed away due to the grief and financial ruin as a result of burying their daughter and her child, their grandchild. So this isn't necessarily about men versus women. I know it can seem like that on the surface. It's not. Men and women need each other, but each of their energies need to be strong and also must be centered around the truth. That's the thing. This situation actually is about a weakened masculinity and its sidekick, a weakened and compromised femininity that tolerates evil. And all of this compromised energy is versus the truth. Okay, so going back to the Dark Deceased card, these are the disturbed ancestors who are arising on behalf of the aggrieved feminine collective and on behalf of people, men and women alike, who just simply want to have a healthy and happy family. Now, the next card is the Shep's card. This is the energy of the beneficent ancestor who will also assist with dealing with the Dark Deceased energy. So overall, basically what this response is saying to how women should react spiritually, it is saying turn to this energy. Honor those women and children whose lives were taken unjustly. They were placed into the ancestral realm as a result of the weak masculine entity that did not want to own up to his responsibilities, and as a result of a corrupt feminine energy or entity who turned a blind eye to his wrongdoing in exchange for her own comfort. He should have become the husband. He should have become the father. He should have provided you and the child that he had with you with masculine support. And the women who enabled him should have told him the truth about himself and also provided you with feminine support as well, instead of weaponizing his misdeeds towards and against you. Honor the family members who passed away also due to the grief of losing their daughters and their grandchildren. Okay. So in the first video about Roe versus Wade, the Medu Neter Oracle revealed that it was the weak version of masculinity that is driving women to the abortion clinic. The stronger and accountable masculinity understands and would accept responsibility for the family that he has created. So it will take the men who are strong and accountable to checkmate those who are not. What's happened with the Supreme Court's ruling is that they are avoiding the arduous task of confronting the consequences in this society of creating weak males by sweeping this dirt beneath the women's skirt. Okay, so this has disturbed the ancestors as seen by the Dark Deceased card. And it's also the ancestors that will assist the women in dealing with the injustices associated with this decision. Okay, so moving along to the I Ching reading. The first hexagram that presents itself is hexagram number 37, which stands for the family. The family can also be symbolic of a community in general. It is an instruction on understanding the family and how it truly operates. This hexagram is an instruction about everyone knowing their roles in the family. The children know that they are not the ruler of the home. Their parents are. The husband and the wife know that they are not to dominate one another, but to cooperate with each other. The husband has natural instincts about life from a masculine perspective that his wife will never possess. Likewise, the wife has an intuition about life from a feminine perspective that must be trusted in order for things to go well. They have to cooperate. This is the beginning of the meaning of the hexagram for the family. Let's take a look at the trigrams that make up the hexagram representing the family. Hexagram number 37. As you can see, at the bottom is the trigram representing fire. This symbol is also related to the second daughter. There is another symbol above it which represents the wind. This symbol is representative of the first daughter. So what we see here is that the hexagram, or this entire set of 6 lines that represent the family or the community, is feminine. So from the perspective of the universe, the entire foundation of a community is feminine. We see it with lions, and we see that it is the lionesses that hunt and bring food for their cubs and food for the pride. We see it with elephants. It is the female elephants that form a community to take care of everyone, including the young. In terms of humanity, if the I Ching were a person, it would be telling everyone that the feminine aspect of life has to be treated very delicately, because without taking proper care of the feminine, in this case girls and women, then there is no community. It is the dedication of the feminine that is the basis of the family. We all know that the foundation of a nation is ultimately the family. When families are placed at risk, then the nation will suffer. Now, this question is about how women should react to the decision about Roe versus Wade in a way that will leave each one whole. So basically, the I Ching is expressing more or less that women, you are the power of the nation. Without you, there is no nation, there are no communities, there are no family. The power rests with you. In other words, so what? They are picking at you and thinking that they can defeat you by placing some ink on a piece of paper and showing off their treachery in front of the news cameras. You are far greater than the definitions that they have used to attempt to confine you, okay? The real power lies with you. Use it. Your intuition will guide you, and it speaks on the intuition. Remember, the Mandu Neter showed the ancestors. The ancestors help you with your intuition, you understand? So here the I Ching is saying your intuition will guide you. You are the power of the family. So hexagram 37 has a stress line, and it's line number 5. So let's dive into what the stress line is saying. It is basically saying that your family is your little kingdom, or your little queendom, if I may. You, the woman, have nothing to worry about because you have the power and you are in control. Okay? Hexagram number 37 for the family, with the 5th line stressed, changes it into hexagram number 22, which stands for grace. Grace is represented like a small fire at a base of the mountain, and that the mountain is highlighted by its presence, making it beautiful. It's a type of decoration. So let's take a look at these trigrams for hexagram number 22. It is comprised of the fire trigram at the bottom. By the bottom, I mean as the foundation. Okay, so the fire trigram represents the second daughter, or a young woman, the young feminine. Then there is the mountain at the top overlooking the fire. So here's what you need to understand. Hexagram number 22 is about dealing with things gracefully. There is a different path to meet your objective, having others respect your need for your bodily autonomy without also injuring yourself in the process. And this will be done by being graceful. let's look at a neutral situation so that, those who may not understand can get a grasp of where I'm coming from. Today's gas prices in some parts of the country are above $5 a gallon. So imagine that there is a gas station that still has it for $2.50 a gallon. Will you see the owner of the discounted gas station chase down his or her customers and in an attempt to get them to come to their station? No. In fact, you will see people traveling from miles and miles away with gas containers so that they can fill up their car, their truck, and then they'll be filling up the gas containers to preserve the fuel that they purchase. It is because the people need the benefit that is derived from the more affordable fuel. So the gas station owner does not need to chase them down. In fact, word of mouth will do the work on his or her behalf. Likewise, you do not need to chase these people down who supported the overturning of Roe v Wade. You don't need to confront them. In time, they will see how the overturning of Roe v Wade actually did more to harm themselves, more than the force that they attempted to use to control you did any harm to you. So going back to the description of this hexagram number 22. See, the mountain has a foreboding and ominous presence without your influence. Your fire illuminates it. Your presence is what illuminates him. It is not him that overshadows your light. I'm sorry, earlier I should have mentioned that the trigram for the mountain represents the masculine, okay? See, the mountain as a trigram is representative of the youngest son. Okay, so this is a young masculine. And going back to the description, so fire represents like the middle daughter in a hexagram, and she's the foundation of grace, okay, because she represents the fire. Now, the next trigram, which is above the fire, is a mountain, which represents the younger son. See, a mountain, let's think about a mountain for a minute. It has a foreboding and ominous presence, okay? People, when they, mountains are immovable. People climb mountains. It's risky, all of this. So that represents an immovable strength, okay? And see, the mountain has a foreboding and ominous presence without your feminine influence. Your fire is what illuminates it. Your presence is what illuminates him. It is not him that overshadows your light. So you are needed more by them than they are needed by you. Knowing that this is your power, use it. Having your own power and using it does not diminish his own power. There's nothing wrong with you being educated, financially secure, and independent. This is a sign of an adaptable person. This is valuable and it should be treasured, okay? If a man or a woman complains about you having your own power, don't confront them. Just understand that this is a power of weakness and corruption on their parts. So rather than engage them, let them enjoy their ignorance. Besides, there are plenty of masculine things that need to be done. Too many people are without shelter. Look at Skid Row in Los Angeles. They could be building shelters for them instead of worrying about what's going on with a woman's health in a woman's womb. There are deserts throughout the United States. Each of them can be turned into an oasis, and while creating a plethora of opportunities. There is a need to transition. There is a need for the nation to transition from fossil fuel in a way that is affordable for all. There are so many roads in need of repair, railroad tracks that need to be fixed, so much masculine business to do. For the strong and the healthy masculine, I am not talking about you. You're good. But there is so much weak masculinity and so much corrupt femininity that needs to be checked. And this is what the oracles are pointing out. The masculine and feminine are meant to cooperate together, not one dominating over the other. Just like your fire illuminates him, his mountain can protect your fire from sources that attempt to blow you out. This again speaks to the strong masculine, represented as the immovable mountain, who counteracts the antics of the weak masculine. So be the fire that you are. Be graceful. And if the conditions are not right for your light, then leave them in the dark. Because if they don't appreciate you, then they don't deserve you. And this goes for women of all ages. You are the one that's needed. You hold the power. So use it. That's what the oracle is saying. Okay. So let's move on to the fourth question. And this is the final question that I asked the oracle regarding Roe versus Wade, and it dealt with the Janes. I found them to be very interesting. And given the overturning of Roe versus Wade, I know that there may be a resurgence of this underground network. So I consulted the Medu-Neter oracle, and it provided a response of Aset to Ma'at and Tahuti Temtachayas. So what I immediately see is that the Aset is the energy associated with motherhood and childbearing. Tahuti is represented with wisdom and older men, and it is in the negative. So on the surface, there is a concern about those who are capable of childbearing, underage girls and women, and their contact with older males. The father responsible for pregnancy of most teen girls, and child brides are fully adult men, typically, which at the bare minimum should be the statutory R word. Now, on a deeper level, this combination of Aset to Ma'at and Tahuti Temtachayas is showing that although the intentions were well, there was a lack of wisdom on some levels. Now, remember, I am a diviner. I am just sharing the responses provided by the oracle. I am not the one who is responding. I'm just simply interpreting the response. So, going back to the reading, although the Janes were helping people, this unintentionally did some harm to the interest of women and children. And I emphasize unintentionally. They actually felt that they were doing something that will enable both sides to start with a clean slate. No judgment here. We just don't want, they were thinking, hey, we're not judging either the men or the pregnant women. We just don't want to see another girl pass away because of a knitting needle or a coat hanger. Okay. So they were coming from a good place. The Janes were. The only thing is that there were many situations where incest, marital affairs, marital R word, and statutory R word that rhymes with grape were hidden by the process of the abortion. So in this instance, those things did not come to light to be handled properly. So the Medu-Neter acknowledges that the Janes were doing what they could to ensure that girls and women would be safe and able to become mothers at the right time under the right circumstances, which is signified by the Aset card, which is to Ma'at, that shows that they were removing the obstacles to a healthy motherhood. However, the consequence, again, it was very unintended, is that it aided in keeping some criminal activity, such as incest and the R word, secret. This by no means is saying that the Janes were bad people or a bad group. They dealt with the cards that they were handed as best as they could, and this reading recognizes that as well. So moving along to the I Ching, we have hexagram number 62, which is titled Small Exceeding. This hexagram is an instruction on the benefit of keeping a low profile, and that there is a success in laying low. And this is exactly what the Janes were known for. This is exactly what they did. They are the perfect example of what this hexagram teaches, considering the question and the fact that there are no broken lines. So what the I Ching is basically saying is that they did not openly rebel. They were just devoted to ensuring that girls and women would have safe access to reproductive care, and their tactics of laying low was the key to their success. So it's like it's saying, congratulations, the Janes, you are the you are a good prime example of hexagram number 62. You laid low, and because you laid low, you were successful for it. So that's all I have for now. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notifications bell so that you will know whenever I upload any new content. Until next time, take care.